I love all that. Like,
he shushed the Brighton manager as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
Scott gravitas.
By the way, this Hurzeler guy, like little B-Tech Pep, you know what I mean, like running up his mouth. You know what?
Proper crying.
This is some of his quotes that he said, right? So let me.
That guy is a disgrace. What kills me, right? Him saying, "Oh, we only tried to play football. We're the only team that tried." Well, maybe if you tried harder and won games, you wouldn't be 14th, mate. All you do is you've won back-to-back games. The first time in about 10 games, and you're here talking about, oh, this team and that. Maybe if you just tried on focusing to win a game, maybe you wouldn't be 14th.
Some of the things he said at the game after, he'd been moaning about Arsenal before the game.
Yeah.
So he's obviously
You were not invited to the parade.
He's obviously carried a bee in his body into the game. That's the starters, right? I don't know about you, Lee. I didn't see no excess amount of wasting time. Excess.
No.
And if a team, if you're winning 1-0, right, and you've got a throw in, why are you going to run and rush over to take it? You know what I mean? If you're winning 1-0 and you go to take a throw in and nobody's open, right? Why would you just throw it anywhere? You know, we didn't even have a lot of corners yesterday.
No.
So the wasting time on corners, did we have a lot of corners?
No, I didn't really waste time on corners. Right. There was one at the end where Declan Rice sort of like half jogged over there, but that's part of the role.
Everybody's going to do that. Yeah?
He says some of his comments. He says only one team tried to play football. At the moment, I have a feeling that Arsenal are doing their own rules, no matter how they are playing. If the Premier League, if the referee allows everything, then it's difficult. Then they make their own rules. The Premier League has to find a rule because that was not football. What Arsenal did today. Football fans want to see football games and not time waste. And I'm sure you don't want like to watch these football games. Brother, shut up, man.
Well, let's see when they're 1-0 up.
So then, what he's showing then, basically, that he'll never be able to, no disrespect to Brighton, he'll never be able to manage, like, say, a top 4 club.
Big club.
Because what about us who every single home game face a team that comes and puts in a low block? Even when we played Man City, that teams that, you know, will take time on throw-ins, will be very, very defensive with our aim really to stop Arsenal rather than play. You can't whinge about them things. They didn't do it. We had a bigger XG than they did in the game.
And
right?
I bet you how many...
shut up, man.
How many goalkeepers have been booked at the Emirates for time wasting? How many?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so we know what it's...
Listen, look at that year. Look at that time when Declan Rice got sent off and all that, and you know what I mean. The way his player went down. You know what I mean?
And he was the manager, wasn't he, at the time?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Shut up, man. You know what I mean? Go and get your team to win the game then.
Hold
right? To me, right, it wasn't a pretty game. It wasn't a game that you're going to go watch over again because it wasn't a great performance by Arsenal. But what I loved about it was the battling aspect of it. It was a game for defenders as far as Arsenal was concerned because the forward players didn't get going. But everybody dug in and battled. And sometimes when you've got a big prize like a title, this is what you're going to have to do. These games are like finals and semi-finals for Arsenal, where there's so much on it that sometimes it kind of affects
how you play,
how you're going to play. Are you going to take that extra chance? Should you rush things and then give the ball away and then they counter and they score? And the consequences of that, as we've seen with Man City yesterday. Remember, City did not lose yesterday. They drew that game, and just because of one draw, early on in the season, that wouldn't have really mattered too tough. But one draw now has huge consequences on your season, as we saw when we played against Wolves. So you can understand a bit of caution with Arsenal. A couple of nights ago, Wolves beating Liverpool. You can understand, that's in your head a bit. You're thinking, bro, can't make too many mistakes. Weren't a great performance, but the battling, like you said, from Hincapié, like Gabriel,
leadership.
Brilliant, man, leadership. I mean, bailed out Raya right at the start when Raya made that error. Then after that, Raya, good goalkeeping from him, solid goalkeeping. You know what I mean? I thought Timber, excellent as well. You know, the guys in front of them in midfield didn't create nothing. But what they did do is even Eze was getting back and putting in a shift. It was that type of game. Sometimes you do have them type of games, yeah? And I just don't get all this criticism. I saw Alan Pardew. When did he used to play all this exciting, brilliant football throughout
Same
his
with
managerial
Jermaine
career?
Jenas.
I see this man saying, if Arsenal win it, there's an asterisk. Oh, shut your mouth, man. You know what I mean? Was there an asterisk when Mourinho won it? When Mourinho won it through having an unbelievable defence, they're moaning about, Arsenal have won this amount of games by 1-0. I don't care, bro. All I want to see is Arsenal lift this title. I don't want to have to go through games like that last night, because when it's only a 1-0 margin, it's scary, right? But if that's what it takes to get us over the line, who cares? You're going to care? None of us are going to care. We've just got to get over the line. Maybe if this team gets over the line, maybe in future years, we can be a bit more. Yeah, but right now, it's like a boxer, innit? Like, I keep using this boxing analogy. It's like a boxer. You've got a few rounds to go. Nothing stupid, man. For these last rounds, instead of going out and trying to knock the guy out, let me just stay at distance and put in some jabs and that and keep the points going. Yeah. And Arsenal got the best away record in the Premier League.